Hello and welcome to the Awesome 180 channel. Fear is something that we always hate to discuss. We always want to think of ourselves as winners, never as losers. And as a result, this whole thought around fear has become very prominent in our society. So many people talk to me about, I have a fear of failure, so I don't even start doing what I'm doing. I have a fear of failure, so I don't take risks. I have a fear of failure, so I don't try something new. And this fear of failure becomes so debilitating in our lives that it completely ruins us. We stay the same. We don't change. And I want to talk to you about a very interesting line that I read in a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He said, what I want you to do is not recognize failure. He said the most successful people in the world do not recognize failure. Now, let's think about this for a minute. What is he saying? So what Napoleon Hill basically talks about is how people like Henry Ford, who went from failure to failure, what we would term as failure, not recognizing it as such, instead recognizing it as learning experiences, something that he needs to change. In fact, he gives the example of Edison, and I've done many episodes on Edison in my podcast, the Habit Coach podcast. Out there he talks about how Edison went from one failure to the next. And when people asked him that, you tried 1,000 ways to try and make a light bulb, he said, no, I had 1,000 ways of how not to make a light bulb. He didn't see it as the failure to make a light bulb. He saw it as learning experiences. Now, what happens with us is that we see failure as failure and then we put a full stop to whatever we're doing. Oh, I tried it, but I failed. So, I'm not going to do it again. Whether it's something that we tried cooking in the kitchen, like, my God, have you tried making a banana bread and it turned out horrible? It burnt. Sourdough bread, for example. Sourdough bread is completely impossible to make the first time around correctly. So you keep learning from these experiences. It's not a failure, it's a learning. So imagine from now onwards, as your new habit, you do not use the word fail anymore. No failure. Whatever happens, you have learned from it. And if you don't learn from it, then it's truly a failure. Like I say, a failure or a mistake that you didn't learn from, you need a whack, because that is real failure. I remember the first time I started making these YouTube videos. They were so bad. I could have spent my time thinking that, oh my God, this is a failure. But instead what I did was, what did I learn from this? Should I have spoken about this? Do I need to have my notes ready? Do I need to have better lighting? Do I need to have a better camera? And I started thinking about all these things and learning from my mistakes. If I hadn't learned from my mistakes, there would have been no change. And as a result, I would have been stagnant. Now, what are the things that you fail at, that you're fearful of failing at? Then I want you to ask yourself, how can you learn from this experience? No more using the word failure. If you haven't read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, I strongly suggest you do, because it's one of those books that compiles everything together. In fact, another video that we're going to do is from this book, where we talk about visualization, visualizing your goals. And I'm going to do a small morning meditation exercise with you so that you all can learn from this. The whole idea is, what are you moving towards? What is the change that you want to create? And if there is change, understanding that failure is an inevitable part of that change. So your simple habit starts by simply understanding that from today onwards, you cannot use the word failure. You can use the word I learned from this. You can use the word that this does not work. You can use different words, but you cannot use the word failure. It has been deleted from your mind. Right? You know how you go delete. It's been deleted from your mind. No more using the word failure, and let's see how our life grows. You see, this channel is all about these awesome habits that you can create. Because when you want that awesome life, you need to start with these small things. A simple thing like removing failure from your life can boost it. So don't forget to hit subscribe so you know when future videos come out, okay? Press that little like button if you're going to promise me that you're going to stop using the word failure from today onwards. Promise me. Pinky promise. Alright? And remember, I am Ashton Doctor and I'm your habit coach. Awesome lives, they start with awesome habits.